Digital forensics tools analyze disk images to detect data patterns. One application of digital forensics is to analyze files for protected data. BitCurator is an open source digital forensics tool that is used in preservation as well as forensics. BitCurator can analyze disk images or files or tar files. Separate modules are used to generate a map of the file system on a disk image, identify locations of features in the data, annotate files with the features, generate reports, and manage tasks from a GUI. Rules have been developed to apply the BitCurator tools as externally invoked applications. A policy within the iRODS data grid composes the input information needed by a BitCurator application that has been installed on an iRODS server. The policy invokes the external application and retrieves the results to store the analysis information within the data grid. The policy odum bc extract feature files rule.r is available in Chapter 5.8 of the Policy Examples Workbook. The policy checks input parameters, loops over files in a directory within the data grid, gets the host address where each file is stored, executes the bulk extractor application at the storage site, registers results back into the data grid, and cleans up temporary files. The policy template defines the input parameters, session variables, and persistent state information needed to apply the odum bc extract feature files rule.r. These are input variables. Star image is a file path name that will be analyzed. Star out feature is a collection name for holding the results. The session variables that are used are $username client, the name of the user invoking the policy. The policy uses persistent state information to manipulate the data. Call name is the collection name that will be analyzed. Data ID is a file internal identifier, and data name is a file name within the collection. Data path is the location of the file on the storage resource, which is needed for the BitCurator application to be applied. Data resource name is the name of the storage resource that has a file, and resource loc is the location of the storage resource, its IP address. The operations that are performed in the odum bc extract feature files rule.r are error code, check for an application error, error message, if an error occurs, get the error message, exec command arg, encode application arguments for transmission to an external application, fail, stop the policy used for bad input, for each to loop over the files within a collection, if, a conditional check for errors, MSI data object put to put a file back into the data grid, MSI exec command to execute the remote BitCurator application, MSI get standard error in exec command out is retrieve an error message from the execution of the command. MSI get standard out in exec command out, retrieve the standard output from the running of the application. Remote, apply operations at a remote host. Select is to create the database query, time to get the current time, and write line to write an output line. Take 7 minutes to complete exercise 78. Run the BitCurator bulk extractor application to find the file with your birth date. Use the rule lifelib zone home rwmore rules odum bc extract feature files rule.r. Please load a paragraph describing your result into the lifetime library in the subcollection class INLS 624 by the end of today's class.